Breaking news with Paul Toole.
Hello and a very warm welcome. The Cal League, the first Crip softball league in Los Angeles, presents its coffee table book of 500 Black Unity pictures by author L.A. Nutt. The Cal League uplifting families, communities, and ending the sickness of gang violence that has plagued black communities for over 50 years. The Cal League players, former Crips on 11 teams, backed by their communities, create a safer environment for all LA communities. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.
What makes you righteous? You see, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I won't fornicate and I won't commit adultery. I don't smoke dope. And I say all my prayers every day. And I give whatever I can in charity. And what else do you do? But what do you mean, what else? Is there something else? That's nothing. That's vanity. So you don't smoke, so what? So you don't drink. You don't use drugs. So what? What are you doing to better the condition of others? What are you doing to reform where you live? And if you do nothing to reform society with the knowledge you have received, then you are guilty of concealing knowledge. And that is a cardinal sin.
Go see the doctor.
Yeah, we back. We are live. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Crip. We back at this thing again, man. I know I was supposed to be on at a certain time. I'm sorry. It's nothing that I could do about it. I be trying, man. I'm telling you, I be trying, man. But what we got going today is the follow up to last night. Please like, subscribe, let a friend know, let people know that we back in. And, it's the same old agenda, man. You know what it is. No more in 24. Stop your kids from gang banging. Don't let your kids do it. It's coffee. Don't worry about it. That's what I'm saying. I need some type of pick. This is that yellow coffee in the yellow box, Cafe Busto or something like that. It's pretty good. But hey man, look, welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for just being a part of this movement that we gonna get done, and you're gonna witness the greatness of what is to come. You understand what I'm saying? You will see what we can do when we put our mind to it, because we're gonna get this done. We're gonna stop letting these dudes put our babies and our kids on something that's useless, that haven't profited us in no way, fashion, or form. The Crips and Bloods ain't did nothing to help us, and it's time that we stop as Black people putting into that. You know, we gonna have to we gonna have to get involved in that. And you know, if it start with shaking the system up, then that's what it is. You know, all the gang programs that people getting paid for and money, man. If y'all can't stop people from getting put on the gang, then you know we're gonna have to keep passing that check around till we get to the right people that say, hey man, I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. We ain't put nobody else on. If we 60 deep, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna keep ruining lives, you know, because that's when God chooses you, you know, because people get chose different type of way. Because you got a lot of people, you know, a lot of my homies, you know, some of them happy, some of them sad, some of them upset, and some of them like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have different emotions, but that's what it is. That's just exactly what it is. When you chosen by God, it ain't nothing you could do about it. I love gang banging. I used to love gang banging because that was my life, you know? But you got to understand, 25 years ago when he made me join Unity One because I had a dope case. I wasn't looking to do no gang intervention and prevention and all that. I was trying to get wild out here. But he slowed me down in my 20s when I ain't even know, and had me start doing gang prevention, working with Unity One. Came on at the top, dealing with all kind of celebrities and all kind of officials, city officials, you know, just everything, business people, corporations. You know, we came in high, making a move. So that's what happens when you get chosen to lead. You know what I'm saying? It's not by design. Some people, yeah, they chase the dream and I want to do this. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. But when you ain't had no business doing none of that and you get thrust into that, you gotta look at that and be like, man, wait a minute. How did I get in this position? Take a look up and you'll see, because your life could be behind bars. Your life could be on heroin, on powder, on pills, on crack, or you could just be dead. There's many other options out there that you could be. Let's not get it twisted. You could be in the ground 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own, that God got that path for you, you know, and it just so happened that his path, you know, led me to, you know, hardback edition, man, you know, hardback edition, letting kids know this is it. This is what you're suffering from right here. GAMD, gang addiction mental disorder. And like I said, we are working on it, getting this disorder recognized by the state of California. Kind of like how they y'all don't remember PTSD. Aquila Sherrills, he was a big person out of watch. Y'all might not, you know, he Aquila's way up here. He on another level. You know, I don't, you know, people don't like for me to, you know, throw him, but Aquila, he loves me. So he, you know, he really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Him and Daoud, they love me. So, you know, but that's the Watts movement. They part of it. You know what I'm saying? They've been there from the beginning. And people don't know You know, they wrote the American curriculum. You know, they wrote that. You know, that's them. The American curriculum. That's Achilles Sherrills. You know, he behind that. You know, so you got to give a shout out to brothers like that. That's in the movement, man, because we need people like that. And when he was pushing that, he why y'all got where y'all at. He helped is why y'all got where y'all at to this day with PTSD, bringing that to the hood. Like, we suffer from PTSD like anybody else, you know, that post-traumatic syndrome disorder. You know, that's something that he brought to gang intervention. But this is the same thing, gang addiction, mental disorder. You know, this is real. This is not made up. This is real. This affects you at the ages of 8 to 13. And by the age of 14 or 15, it could be full blown to where your parents can't even grab you. You know who that is? The ones that walking in the house with nachos on their face and grits and eggs and all, and Hoover crossed out, and you know, the B whacked out and the C whacked out. And you say, man, wait a minute. You're not even 19, man. And you got all that on your face. Gang addiction, mental disorder is real. That's why I pray nobody else gets tattoos on their face. Now, I got homies that nut. I'm trying to get everybody blasted so we can, because they want people to look good. You know, they'll tell you to go do it, but they ain't gonna do it, you know. So do you want somebody like that encouraging your child? You know what I'm saying? Do we really need people like that giving instructions? Look at the people on social media today, right now. Go look at the people that's leading Bloods and Crips, that's saying, I am the face, I represent, I got this, I got that, this how it go. Look at these people and tell me, these are the people you want controlling your child, your son, your daughter out here in the streets? Come on, man. Come on. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. Just tell me, shut up, Dr. Crip. You don't know what you're talking about. And I would leave this alone. Just tell me, be quiet, man. You know, and don't come from a hater's point of view. Just give me facts with why I should shut up. You know, just don't tell me to shut up. Just give me some facts why I should shut up, you know? Because Bloods and Crips is out of control, man. And it's an instant thing. Everybody wants stuff instantly right now, you know, and they don't know how to wait for it. That's why they clashing heads with the older dudes, shooting people like me, you know, getting stuff like that done. So this is what we don't need no more of. We don't want no more of that. We are tired of kids dying out here, man. We're tired. And like I said, history repeats itself. We learned that last night with the gang interventionists. You know, we see what can happen when money gets involved at a young age with these dudes. So we gotta understand where these dollars is going to. You know, how can you be an ambassador or a grid worker and you only 26 and 7, 28, even 30 and all that? Do you know how much kind of experience? Do you know who's an ambassador? Do you know where that come from? That come from like Martin Luther King. That's an ambassador, man. Harry Belafonte. Them dudes are ambassadors, bro. Do you really know what an ambassador? Man, it ain't no dude that just started gang banging, you know, and you got control of your hood and you in your mid-20s and you control all your young homies and they listen to you and until something go bad, you know? Nah, that ain't no ambassador, man. It take years to become a gang interventionist on those levels. Conflict resolution. That's what I am. conflict resolution. I solve problems, homie. I've have ended gang wars before. And if shut up, nut. Well, no. I have ended gang wars before. I've been a peacemaker involved in just them to sit down and talk and work their differences out, homie. Because I got family from this side, or I got homies I grew up with on this side. It's always a key into that. You know, this program that people go to and they graduate now with the grid programs and at Cal State LA and UCLA. Well, let me tell you something. I was the first one. I was the first one involved in all that conflict resolution and how to what is that be a mediator and for gangs, how to set the chairs a certain type of way so they can face each other, and how you dealing with a blood and a Crip that hate each other, and how to choose who's gonna start first, and how to wait a minute, you upset? Let him finish his point before you, please, bro. Just give me 1 second. No disrespect. Just let him make his point so he don't get offended. You got to know how to talk to people, man. And if you ain't got that training in there, it's going downhill real fast, man. That's going down. I read the story to you. Did you hear what I said? That those dudes were supposed to have 20 hours a week of training, man. Classes. To become a gang interventionist to deal with gangs. You can't just jump in the field like that. That ain't the way it works. So all the gang interventionists that's out here listening, that pay attention and know what's happening, like I said last night, it's a new era. Century to Manchester, shut it down. Western Avenue, go get it done. Marquise Dawson, know who your Congress people, local, state officials are. If you are in the 2nd District, 8th District, one of them, I'm sorry, I know. Marquise Dawson, wherever he covered, that's it. He got a wide area, probably usually the same area. Swans, 8-trays, some Hoovers, 9-0s, you feel me? Whoever else in that zone. Same area that the LAPD crash used to control. They leave the 90s, go to the 8-trays, end up in Swan. Marquise Dawson over all that stuff. Sweat him. Permits, Century to Manchester, shut it down. We want the carnivals in there. We want vendors in there, giving away clothing, medical supplies, food, toys and bikes. We don't have to wait for Christmas to do all that stuff. Educational, books, accessories for education. And we want the 8-trays and the 9-0s to be the host. Work together. They got people that's all up through there. That's your job. You better work on it, because I'm going to keep speaking on it. Like, why y'all scared to do it? Until it get done. You shouldn't have got me started. So I'm going to keep speaking on it because it need to be done. That gang war been going on for 30-some years. So it's time for it to end. And you got to take small steps to get big steps. So get that in your head. Century to Manchester, shut it down. Healthcare workers, everything. Diabetes, cancer, STDs. Which is about today's show with these girls in the gangs. STDs. Heart, checking on your heart, blood pressure, all that. Get all them all the way up and down Western Avenue. One of the most dangerous streets. Man, you know what? I need a survey. Somebody need to give me a survey. I'm going to have to see, because I do research. I'm going to find out. I'm going to let y'all know. I'm going to find out. I need a survey on all the deaths on Western. between Imperial to Florence. I need a survey on that. I want to see how many deaths have occurred on Western Avenue since 1969. Ooh, that's going to be a task. But I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to let you know how we've been knocking each other off for centuries, not caring, doing nothing. Horseman, here I come. Horseman, here I come. The pulpit of death. Horseman high school, junior high, middle school, whatever you call it. Horseman, you know, here it comes. I went to Horseman for I don't know, I say about a month. I had a fight. And then they made me go to, they kicked me out and made me go to the Valley. And then I left the Valley, and then I didn't go to school no more. My parents got separated. I moved with Pops, and then I missed half of the 8th grade, all of the 9th grade, and all of the 10th grade except one semester. And somehow I caught up and graduated because you smart. I come from educators and farmers. Education is a part of my background. So getting my high school diploma was very important to me at some point, you know? So we got to remember that. And that's also a part of this show today about how the Crips hold people educations back with the violence that they kicked off in the 70s with the deaths, you know, it was the way that it looks is almost that it was worse back then. And that's why you got 60-year-old dummies right now. That's why it's 65, 62, stupid as all outdoors. That's all you know. Hey, what's up, kid? Yeah, OG Freddie on deck, homie. Been OG Freddie since 74. Ain't got nothing. Ain't got no house. You know what I'm saying? Still driving Buicks. Go to all the OG funerals, you know. Don't got no business. Ain't even volunteering in hood. Just useless. You've been useless since 74. But it's Crip for life, remember? It's Crip for life. It's die, move, bloods forever. You remember that? So you really stood on that. Oh, I guess that's what standing on business mean, huh? You really stood on business. Crackhead, heroin addict, pill popper, alcoholic. Take a look at these dudes in they mid 50s, early 60s, and 70s. That's what y'all are. Y'all there. Well, not the 50s, but the 60s. That's where y'all are. And I mean 60, the age bracket 60s. That's what y'all are. You dudes ain't got nothing. And not all y'all. Some of y'all got your life together. Some of y'all got businesses. Some of y'all got your life together, went to school. Some people try to get their life together, but you're still endorsing something that it took God to step in. You still endorsing that by showing up at the funerals with your blue hush puppies on and all that, and you ain't been around. And look, you ain't been around the hood forever. And you show up, Godfather hat, Charlie Brown shirt, Romeo's. Yeah, what's up, cat? You know, big C stack, homie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard what's been going on in the hood. What's been going on in the hood? Oh, you know what's been happening? Nah, tell me what's been happening. Man, you know what's up, kid. I'm just saying. Oh, where you live at? Texas, Georgia. Oh, you just came down here for the funeral, then you leaving. Come on, man. Come on now. It's time to stop all that. But today's show, we had a guest yesterday. They wanted to know about the girls in the gang. So I pulled up the articles for you about the girls in the gangs, how they were coming along in the game. This is the information that you need. See, this is not useless information, but it's information that you can use to tell your child, look, what happened to these girls in the 70s who you supposed to be idolizing, your G homegirls and all this old stuff. The rise of these girls in this gang. I don't need to know when the gang started. How is that gonna help me? I need to know why these girls was doing all this. And I'm telling you why. Because of the conditions that J. Edgar Hoover put down on y'all. It's not your fault that you became a Crip or a Blood. You succumbed to your environment, and your environment was mentally depression, physical depression, and economic depression. So and spiritual depression. So when you have these things that are constant every day, reminders in life, living lessons daily, this is why Crips and Bloods were born out of this despair. This is directly connected to slavery. The people have got their job done. You carried on to traditions of Crips and Bloods for over 50 years. Everybody who hates your skin color got what they want. We can lock you up, throw away the key. You feel me? We can railroad you in court. We can do all this. So I don't want to hear when the East Side started, when the West Side started. I don't want to hear that. What I want to hear is all you dudes that was back then come out, make a front, start marching in the streets. Y'all better start marching. If y'all can get together, go all these funerals, y'all better start getting together and start marching in these streets. Y'all better get together, man, and start getting in these streets and getting cracking. And you churches, y'all know I got an issue with churches. Y'all better go help them dudes if they get together and start coming out marching in the streets. Y'all better get together and help them dudes. You better come out. What's that dude name over there on San Pedro and Rosecrans? I heard he got a program over there. That preacher dude, one of the famous ones. I heard he got a program over there that's supposed to be cracking with people getting out the pen and all that. Well, you better start marching in the streets because these dudes need it. And they need education. They need to know how to address these dudes. Like, man, we got to come over here once, twice a month, man, down Western, down Crenshaw, start from Crenshaw and work y'all way all the way back. Crenshaw, Western, Normandy, Vermont, Broadway, Fig, Main Street, San Pedro, Central, Avalon, all death. East Side tries to work on their stuff. The East Side, that's because of Professor Damu. People don't really know that. Professor Damu got a lot to do with that. Him and his uncle from the East Side over there, you know. but his uncle in jail now, so he kept going. But he know how to do the pieces because guess what? He been doing this for 25, 30 years. He ain't just started yesterday. He been doing it. So he know how to arrange and make people come together. He understands all that. So we need the guidance of the other people that's in that same field with that same experience to get out here and start marching in these streets, homie. Y'all better start picking these streets to go down. Today is if y'all can cruise these lowriders and get everybody that's involved. Get everybody that's involved. The lowriders, the motorcycles, some of them, because we know we just got to keep it real. All the motorcycle groups, when you didn't snitched your way, you didn't busted your way to the end. The lowriders kick you out. They got a little pride, but that motorcycle group, they'll pick you up. They'll pick you up. They'll take the last of the last. So we gotta work with them still. Just tell that dude to low key, man. If we go through this neighborhood, don't just hang back, man. Because they the ones who pick up the last of the last. Oh, he a snitch with a bomb $80,000 motorcycle. Come on, man, ride with us. Put our colors on, man. But you can't. We don't want all that, man. We know your history with, man. Put all that behind you, man. They'll take you. But when you get there, that's it. That's the last of the last right there. So we got to work together, man. That's the key phrase. Working together is the key phrase. And people need to see it. These young dudes you have to show these young dudes, because talking is not going to get it with this generation. You got to show and improve with this generation, man. You got to get cracking. You got to show and improve. But let me get cracking with some of the the stuff that you see right now from one of the viewers from yesterday. They wanted to know about the girls in the gangs. So this is the girls in the gangs right here. So let me show you this. I'm gonna go full screen on this right here, so you can see this. And this is the girls. This is the girls in the gangs right here. So, let me read this for you right now. Let me make sure I got the right. Did I got the right article? Yeah, okay, that's it. I got the right article up. So that's it right there. Now, I have to watermark that stuff because, my team, they pay for all this stuff. So we can't just give it away. We'll be mad if we just give it away. People just start stealing all the stuff all the stuff that we go through to get this information. It's easy. Go use your own money to go get it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Go, if you want to know about something, just go pull it up. You feel me? That's it. That's all you got to do is pull it up. Now, the name of this article is Appeal of Gangs to Girls Found Rising. This is in the Los Angeles Times, Southeast Edition, Sunday, April the 4th, 1976. Now, if your mama was back then and she always whooped the air, you was born, you came in 1980, this was your mama in 1976. This is how she got on, This is what she was doing. Gabriella was a truly happy girl on her way to be with her friends, and the officer who escorted her to juvenile hall is still shaking his head. Structured along the lines of a Barbie doll with may be a little residue of baby fat, the 16-year-old had established her identity with violence and crime, and now with her status intact, she be further rewarded with time in the slammer. For Gabriella, it was a sign of achievement. Did you hear that? Going to jail was a sign of achievement. Now she's is right up there with the best in her society. For the officer, it was another bit of bewildering evidence that gangs have an appeal for girls that is elusive to him and everyone he knows. For society, Gabriella is a sign of how it is now and perhaps a harboring what I can't, the word is faded out. Harbinger of things to come, because Southeast area police say the direction is toward more teenage girls participating in more violence and gangs. Finding reasons for this social phenomenon is as difficult as finding logic in violence or understanding joy in incarceration. You understand what I'm saying? Some people feel like going to jail is the key. Oh, I do whatever. I just be up there with your homies doing life. I ain't tripping. That's, you don't want them to raise your kids because they already don't care about themselves. Southeast area authorities on juvenile crime from schools, law enforcement, and both public and private agencies come up with a wide spread of reasons, most of which break down when carried to logical conclusions. Poverty, for instance, gang membership is usually locked into poverty, and so it becomes a dead end street. And poverty doesn't explain the many girls from good families where they are successful older brothers to set models, girls who drop out in defiance of their parents. They're the territory, and what is that? Some of these words get faded. There's the territorial, the word is faded, with fences and walls in below. And that whole little area is faded. I wonder. It says, but basically what they're saying is that the girls imperative with fences and walls with graffiti, that the key feature of gang life, but girls are needed for spray painting. They are just there actively defending territories already established by boys. Women liberation gets some of the credit, but a unanimous opinion of authorities say that the girls are really luxurious to boys. Gangs, and they carry out the secondary roles that their societies established for them long ago. The fact is that the girls are putting themselves on the firing line now. Yesterday, evil razor in the same hair has become today's overt knife and gun toting. Shoplifting has moved on to burglary and strong arm robbery. Tomorrow's mothers are in on the kill with the boys, carry out their vengeful practices. Those that are locked into gangs are really tough, said Detective Hall Rogers of Bell Gardens Police Youth Services Division. We have more incredibly and accelerating more. It's accelerating more by the day. All the gang details in the county meet once a month to exchange information, and there's something going constantly. They active. They like the girls are active. It says something is going constantly. They are as violent as boys, maybe more, said Bell Gardens Police Chief Fareese Childers. Girls are more violent than they have been in the past, said Gloria Wilson, a dormitory supervisor at Los Angeles Petrino's Juvenile Hall in Downey. An example is one of her recent charges identified as a warlord for a boys' gang who set up the machinery for gang combat operations, chose the sites, and will fight anybody. Robert Wells, superintendent at Los Petrinos, sees violence of girls and gang activity develop to the point of instigating girl-boy fights, in which case, hold on, let me go up here to the top. Let me go up here. The boy, the boy, whether he wins or loses, is a what? Preordained loser. Girl gangs may develop on their own without encouragement from long establishment boy gangs, but they are almost always support groups for boys. King Cobras is an immense gang of unknown numbers forming a network all over the Southland and has been well known to law enforcement people for years. Now there are Queen Cobras. Nobody knows how many, but the educated guess is that the membership may be about 10% of that of the Kings. The black counterpart to the Mexican American Cobras is the Crips. And now there is the Cripolettes. Again, size is unknown, but the girls perform much the same service, such as weapon carrying and strategy planning. One of the biggest is the 18th Street Gang that is said to reach all the way down to San Diego and Bell Gardens alone. It has a girl membership estimated at more than 100. Norwalk has long had its Chicos and in and around Excelsior High School, and now it has about 100 Chicanas. They're super organized, said Bell Garden Detective Rogers. They're like the mafia. They're well armed, especially the Cobras. They was putting in work, killing each other. The general public knows little of gangs. They form in barrios and ghettos that are cut off from the mainstream, and their principal activity is not necessarily criminal. It is only when the eruption of violence occurs that the public becomes enlightened through the news media, and what comes across is usually incomprehensible. A small child is run down by a motorcycle in a retaliation against a gang member who can't be reached because she is in juvenile hall. A kid is killed simply because he wants to drop out of a gang. Another is maimed because perhaps accidentally he offended a rival gang member. Shots from a speeding car shattered a house where gang members were denied entry to a party. Meanwhile, there are beer parties, basketball games, a kind of socializing that one authority recognizes as intimidation of the more respectable sororities, fraternal organizations, and car clubs that form everywhere. Drugs do not play much of a part. Mexican American gangs authorities agree. Smoking marijuana and drinking beer, perhaps some pill popping, are common, but not the hard stuff. A Cobra or Chicano or Chico is not likely to commit burglary or strong arm robbery to support his drug habit. Gangs are for something else, identity, comfort, and in a confusing society, excitement, a feeling of belonging. So that was the first one. You feel me? Like I said, those are just some of the girls those are just some of the girls that what they were doing back in the day. You understand what I'm saying? And they had a lot going on. You feel me? West Side Life. Hey, Dr. Crip, thanks for the info on girls and gangs. One of your shows, you said don't put the gang over your family. No more in 24. Yeah, you know, West Side. Yeah, you was the one who I think asked about who asked about this. Yeah. Man, you know what I'm saying? Don't put no gang over your family, man. You know, don't. And, you know, you got people that do that, man. You know, some of these dudes that's 50, 60, 70 that still living up to this day, you know, put the gang over their family. That's why they don't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ran your mama raggedy when you was in prison for 10 years for nothing. You didn't get nothing. All you did was shot something up, shot somebody, went to jail, and then you ran your mama raggedy. And all you did was just live off your mama sending you packages. Remember the packages and boxes they used to get back in the day? I remember some of the homies getting them, people's getting them packages together. You at least, man, gotta be 60 pounds or 55 pounds. It's gotta be 55 pounds. You know, they put all kind of stuff in there, you know. But parents don't have all that. You gotta get a package every month. You know, and then you get out, don't go get a job, you know, do whatever you need to do on the streets to make the gang happy, but you ain't paid your mama back, you ain't paid your sister back, you ain't paid your brother back. All you did was run people raggedy. You know what I'm saying? Putting this gang above your family, driving your family insane. And got the nerve to say, I'm going to do this for life. It's Crip, it's blood for life. Mama, I'm a B-dog. It's on. Come on. Knock it off. Do we need more of you people around? No, we don't need no more, man. Please don't turn no more kids out. We don't need no more kids turned out, man. Knock it off. Please knock it off. You know what I'm saying? Knock it off. So that's some of the stuff, West Side Life, that with the girls in the gang. I got two. This is a part 2 article. I got the other part. I'm gonna read the other article, a continuation of this article. I'm gonna read that in a second. But no, don't put the gang. People have a way of putting the gang before they family. Yeah, the show that I did about that, I was with my cousins. They asked me to film because I do the filming. You know, I do the filming. I got camera. I got equipment. I'm on it popping. So they asked me to come do the motorcycle. You know, in Ontario in the IE, and I'm okay. Just don't, I don't got no rules, but I don't want nobody walking up on me talking about. And they told that to the girls in the motorcycle club, and the girl who she ain't even got a motorcycle, I believe. But she one of the girls in the motorcycle club, so she got to do all the work and wear your little vest and clean up and set up the tables and all that. So the president, sexy as ever, what's her name? What they call her? Oh my God, she is out of control. I think she run the LA chapter or the IE chapter. I think she run the IE chapter. But she told him it's time for your short shorts and all that, and your dude can't handle it, and he a problem. Leave him at home. Don't bring him to the event. It's a 3-day event. Don't bring him to nothing because we don't want no problems or whatever, right? And I'm there minding my business, and here this dude come messing with me. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Why are you asking me, what's up, homie? I seen you somewhere before. You know what? I know you. No, you don't know me. Leave me alone. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm filming the setup of these women and this motorcycle group, ladies first, beautiful women everywhere. They got motorcycles. They out here handling their business. And here you come bothering me. You come bothering me trying to talk small game talk me. Man, I know what that is. I've been to the county many times in my life. Just ask me where I'm from so I can tell you, man, I ain't here for none of that. Man, listen, I'm here, man. I'm a cameraman, man. I'm minding my business. And I walk off. And I look up 20 minutes later, here this dude is again. Yeah, man, you know, I was just thinking, you know, where I was trying to figure out where I seen you somewhere before. Man, leave me alone. You don't know me. That dude bothered me all the way. I think he seen my tattoos or something on my arm. He seen Rolling or something on my Rich Rolling or something on my arm. And he was like, man, you from neighborhood? And I'm like, oh my God. Leave me alone, bro. Get away from me. Right? And then my cousin, she was like, cousin, what's up? What's happening? I was like, this dude right here keep messing with me. They didn't told him twice, like, leave him alone. Leave me alone. Man, this dude then gathered up information. He beefing with somebody from 9-0 that's in one of them cities afar. You know what I'm saying? Moreno Valley or something. You know what I'm saying? Man, leave me alone, bro. I don't got nothing to do with none of that. Leave me alone. He didn't went and got on the phone. I know what he did. He didn't went and got on the phone and start trying to call people. I think he had a connection to the Hunnits or something like that. I'm not for sure. But he was calling somebody that was like, man, the dude is light-skinned. He got a tattoo on his face. He got an LA. He doing all this. And then he come back and he like, man, you from 9-0? I'm like, oh, my God. Leave me alone, bro. Get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. What up? I'm like, man, get away from me. Leave me alone, bro. I'm here. I'm not finna tell you nothing. This is my family. They do not associate with gangs. They do not participate in gangs. They are professional people, homeowners, workers, business owners. They do not participate in this. I am not telling you where I am from. I'm not talking to you. Get away from me. And he still kept bothering me. Now he done went and figured out somehow I'm from 9-0. He done went and told some dude. That dude told the other dude in Palmdale, Moreno Valley, wherever he was at. Now this dude is calling around trying to figure out who I am at my family event. And he called one of the homies that get this dude my number. He gave him my number. I said, why'd you give him my number? He called me, say, "Nut, such and such, some the homie, something. Why you get that dude my number, man? I don't want nothing to do with none of that." This dude called me. I ain't never met this dude in my life. I don't know you. You got a name that's a solid name all the way from the top to the bottom. None of them are snitches. None of them ain't did no busterism or none of that. But you know what? I don't care. That doesn't mean nothing to me, period. I can care less about what your name is. This dude called and like, yeah, I'm gonna come shoot that party. I'm gonna come up there, pop on him, and this and that. Then it took me all out of character. I got a camera. I had to tell this dude, I said, what? I said, let me tell you something. You come up to this port and do anything up here at this function, I'm chipping you, homie. You not gonna make it. As a matter of fact, you getting beat. You ain't getting no DP. You getting stumped. And I'm starting it off. When I catch you, I'm beating you. I don't care who you are. He said, I'm such and such. I'm tiny such and such. I said, I don't care. You better go ask your big homies who. I said, and they can't save you. You come up here, you already on the chopping block. So I guess he called and tried to find out, right? And then he called the homie who I guess had something to do with putting him on and all that. I'm like, I didn't issue the whole DP on the whole city. I'm like, every single person from Moreno Valley is getting DP. They getting beat. There's not one that can be saved. If y'all ever come down here to South Central Los Angeles on the front line, y'all are getting devastated. I don't care who bring you down here. I don't care. This dude, man, listen, and that's what take you out of character. But you cannot put the gang over your family. Do not do that. No, he never came up there. He came to the very first humanitarian day that we organized, that we was doing. They picked that day to come down there. And when they came down there, I got all these dignitary people up here. I got all kind of people from the city. I got all kind of community people, kids. I got all kind of stuff going on. And here these dudes come and the homies walk up on me. They like, hey, big homie, hey, them dudes, that dude, remember that dude who you said? I'm like, huh? He like, Moreno. I'm like, Moreno Valley? What? Because it had happened months ago. I'm like, huh? They're like, man, remember you got into it with some dude from Moreno Valley? I said, oh, yeah. He said, man, they all here. I said, you, what? He's like, yeah. The homies want to take him in the back and beat him to death. And I'm like, no, don't do that. They like, we're going to take him in the back. I said, no, don't do none of that. Get them dudes to pass because people are everywhere through the park. It was one of the biggest ones we had. It was about 400-500 people up there. They everywhere. I said, no, homie, don't do it. And them dudes skated on that path. And he tried to literally walk up on me and say, oh, yeah, what's up, big homie? I'm such and such. I said, you better be glad that this event is going on. I said, because I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to devastate you. And the first chance I get to knock you out the box, I'm taking it. Hey, he was spooked too. He was like, leave that dude alone. Yeah. Oh, you finally see who you was messing with. Then he come back around. I guess they told him to go apologize to him, right? He's like, big homie, I'm sorry, man. I was just hot. I was like, homie, none of that is going to save you. I could care less about any of that. You better be glad today is your lucky day, homie. You feel me? So, don't put the gang over your family. And people do that to this day. You put the gang over your family. That's not cool. And as you can see through that paper, that young girl, Gabriella, that's what she was doing. She was putting that gang over her family. She was infatuated by going to jail. This is way back in what, 70-something, 76? Come on, man. You know? Don't do that, man. That don't do that. This is the second half of that story. Let me read it. This is the second half, part 2 of that story. coming up to the park. I finna come up there and shoot. Oh boy. Man, if you don't knock it off, what is you talking about? You ain't coming up to this park. You come up to this park, homie, you ain't making it back. I can promise you that. Girl membership in gangs increasing. We tend to overlook the fact that this is the way society is, said Paul Lopez, Director of Community Affairs for Montebello Unified School District. Groups form for a sense of belonging. A fraternity, man, what is that? I'm sorry, some of these words being. A fraternity may be a model for identity. I don't think that's something else. I can't, the words are smudged. A model for identity, even needed for survival. But when it's ethnic, it looks different to us, he said. Police have no authority to interfere with gangs. Their only role is to act when there are law violations. Therefore, the task of social agencies is to offer alternatives to gang involvement, to discourage kids from membership. That's what we need to do right now. We have to discourage the kids and the girls from joining the gang, to divert juveniles into other better activities and to prevent rejoining by members who have been arrested, you know? That's why we need scared straight programs. I'm talking real scared straight programs, which I got a real scared straight program. That's a heavy task considering that the gang membership usually begins at age 13 or 14, sometimes even earlier. You feel me? GAMD, 8 to 12. You feel me? And usually lasts all through the teens, even into the mid-20s. That's full-blown GAMD. Some gangs have leaders in their 30s. See, this is the first. Remember, this is the first stage of the Crip. So these are the first OGs at 30. You know, another defeating aspect is what Bell Gardens Police Chief Childers calls the inherent environment. A mother came into me concerned about her 2 teenage sons who were getting into gangs. He says she may be about 40 and she ran with a gang in South Los Angeles when she was a teenager. She still has the tattoo marking on her hand. I think sometimes it's an inherent environmental thing. Montebello Lopez remembers the days of zoot suiters and poncho gangs before and during World War II and the gang structure today, while a lot looser, follow what he sees as a cultural trait and ingrained thing. Ingrained, meaning that's a maladaptive behavior. You feel me? They are the little colonies in Mexico, even in the big cities, and people carry an identity within area. Ironically, the newly arrived from Mexico seldom get into American gangs because Lopez says they still have their native sense of identity. It's second and third generation Mexican Americans who seem to be torn between two cultures who organize themselves in gangs. But why girls? And why the increasing involvement in recent years? Most authorities say there may be interweaving reasons. Some of the credit must go to a growing sophisticated knowledge of the law among youngsters and to the liberation of womanhood everywhere, from all kinds of publicity and television shows, and particularly the Hearst case, Patty Hearst. It can be seen that the treatment of female isn't as rough as the treatment of males. If they were boys, I'd flatten them, said one distinguished disgruntled police officer. Girls get away with more because they No, a male officer has to handle them with kid gloves. If they're mishandled, the ACLU is going to be there. They was back then causing problems, the ACLU. In almost every culture, it's a lot worse to kill or even injure a girl. Girls knows this. The girls knows this. Girls are less likely to be searched for weapons than boys in carrying out their supportive auxiliary roles. Girls are in important position if they can conceal guns and knives. In Southgate recently, 3 girls fought for territorial rights on a section of a fast food store parking lot. One girl bit a police officer so deeply he required 12 stitches, and a backup unit had to enter the fray. We tried to treat them like ladies, and we're reluctant to knock a girl to the pavement as we would a violent boy, but girl gang members refuse to be ladies. And Southgate Police Chief Robert Taylor said, in the past, Latin women have been in the background, but now the girls are starting to come into the foreground to be aggressive, in some cases dominant, said Taylor. Last year, girls at Excelsior High School in Norwalk barricaded themselves in a restroom to protest suspensions and expulsions. At that time, Jonah Moore, an Excelsior graduate and former vice principal, gained perhaps the best on campus rapport with gang members, but she requested and received transfer to teaching duties this year after admitting that she had burned out. She was burnt out as a teacher. It gets to you after a while, said Moore. You help 1 or 2 of the kids, you see them do good things for themselves, and yet the problem of isolation, loneliness, and alienation finds its way into other younger girls who come from the same neighborhood. I just got to the point where I felt the problem was not going to end and figured that the job required someone who could be more optimistic. The conflict between 2 cultures wherein youngsters are presented one environment in their homes and a sharply contrasting one at school and on TV. The economic forces that restrict them to confined areas. You see that? Let me read that again. The economic forces that restrict them to confined areas. Let me repeat that. The economic forces, that means government, the people that support J. Edgar Hoover, all that. The white racism people, all that. You feel me? Restrict them to confined area. Natural urges for excitement and beginning. These all set up almost inevitable movement towards participation in group activity that will satisfy some needs. As to the breakdown of families through society, when parents lose control of their children, regardless of ethnic or economic factors, incorrigibly develops and spreads. Unique and gangdom. Unique and gangdom. Ooh, that's a new word for me. Unique and gangdom. I'm gonna have to use that. Is the pendular swing of retaliation between competing groups and forces of gang codes and rules are easily affronted by an invasion onto their turf or insult to a member. The gang response will be retaliation. Yeah, see that? So that just lets you know right there, man, that in order to combat something, the money that people are requesting that they gotta get. See, they was confined, whether it be blacks, whites, Mexicans, whoever, poor whites, Mexicans, They were confined in that area. And when you confined in an area and you stripped of economic values and spiritual values and racial values, who else you gonna turn on? You're gonna turn on yourself. Raymond Washington, when he came out the house, he was too young to join the Panthers. They wouldn't let him join. So when he created his gang, when he walked outside and created his gang, guess who he emulated his gang after? The Black Panthers. Did he take their ideology though? No. He took his ideology was to go beat up on this dude with the AC Doocy hats and leather coats and all that, looking all tough and walking around like, yeah, intimidating the next dude, his next door neighbor, and beat him up and say, you get you a leather jacket and then wear my AC Doocy hat and we gonna go walk down the street. And when they seen another dude with a leather jacket, like, oh, who is this dude? And he fought back. They're like, oh, you might as well join us. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger till it's out of control. To now your child is part of the Bloods, part of the Crips at 12, 13, because he don't know nothing else. All he know is what he see on TV, what he hear at school, what his friend next door is talking about. He don't have any interest in anything else. So at the age of 8, like in the book, you have to break that disorder. You have to work on that disorder. That's what they telling you. It started back then. They letting you know. You got to break that order. You got to break that disorder, because if you don't break that disorder, guess what's going to happen? Your child is going to come home. Lord, please, somebody help this child. I can't do it no more, Lord. Please help this child. He done went and got a K and a C and a B on his face, Lord. Please, somebody. Could you imagine you? Yeah, you. With the good job and the money and Dr. Crip, you funny, but my child ain't like that. All of a sudden, he come home with a big BK on his face. Pyru killer. Crip killer. Written big on his face. What you gonna do? I didn't know he was doing it like, I didn't never know it. You mean to tell me the whole time he was leaving, he was going out, hanging out with them dudes? Who put that on his face? I want him in jail, my son. He only 15. And you coming home with a big, you got a big old C with a big K on it. And you got and next week, your grandmama and your granddaddy coming out here for Thanksgiving. They got to walk in the house and see. Martha, did you see Tyrone? What is he in a gang? Why did he? Look, go talk to your daughter. I'm too shook up. Martha, go talk to your daughter. Find out what's going on with this boy. Do we need to take him back with us? He need to come back to Mississippi with us. Because he got a big BK, a big OCK on his arm. He done got some numbers on his face. You feel me? Oh Lord. He done got the whole all the street. It say the whole street on this. He done got the whole street sign. You know, the street sign that go up and come across the. He got that. He only 14. He only 15. Who did this? Where did it come from? So yes, man, you got to pay attention to what's going on. You cannot just let your child roam the streets like, they don't have any sense, because if they continue to go at that rate, it's going to end up bad for them. And this is what we trying to stop. That's why we say no more in 24. We don't want no more in 24. That's why we say that. We don't want no more in 24. We can care less about that. Hey, one move away. Hello, Dr. Crip. Can you tell us about Steve Harvey and Al Jarreau? People may not know him. They may not know him. The story is hilarious. Shows the importance of character. Hey, one move away. Hey, you be watching them shows, huh? Al Jarreau. Yeah, it was me and Bubba Loke, the comedian Bubba Loke. If you don't know who Bubba Loke is, he's performing somewhere real soon. I'm gonna have to call him and get the information, and I'm gonna put his next show. I think it's coming real soon. It may be this weekend, or it could be the following weekend. I don't know, but I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna find out. He was just on another platform the other day, promoting his upcoming concert. But I'm gonna get the information. But if you don't know who Bubba Loke is from Rolling 60s. He's one of the funniest dudes in Los Angeles. He's supposed to be up there with Cat Williams and all the rest of them. He has natural ability. His comedy is legendary. He's been on BET, everything. He's my friend. I love him to death. He got some dark closet issues that follow him through his career. So, he talks about all that stuff in his show. So, but it was me and Bubba Loke. We were invited to come to the Indo Smoke. Remember Indo Smoke? Damn, how that song go? Indo Smoke? Who sing that song? Oh, man. How that song go? Indo Smoke. I forgot how it go. And I didn't know that, RW. Al Jarreau was a former probation officer. That's news to me. I didn't know that. So this is so I go pick Bubba up, and so we gotta find the video. The video was actually at his house off of Ventura. So, but we didn't know how to get to his house. So this is back in like I want to say this is like 2001, 2002 or something like that. And we didn't know how to get to his house. So this is when you had to still pull over at the gas station. See, people don't know about that. Remember, you had to literally go to the gas station, get out your car, and walk up to the booth and say, hey, man, where is this street at? That was your GPS. Other than that, you will have to pull over, read a map and all that. I don't know how to read, so how you going to read a map? So you got to go to the gas station. You know what I'm saying? So the gas station was a 76 gas station on Ventura, in between Sepulveda and let's just say in between Sepulveda and Van Nuys Boulevard, I would assume. Something like that. He used to have a house in that area over there. So we looking for the street. We can't find it. So I said, Bubba, we got to go to the gas station. So we pull up in the gas station. When we pull up in the gas station, it's a burnt orange 69 Camaro. Which one is the most valuable one? The 67, 68, or 69? I know RW, you should know that. whichever Camaro is the most valuable one, that's the one Al Jarreau had. Looked like it was brand new off the showroom floor. Had the black stripe coming down the middle, Rally Sport tires, and all this other stuff. It was whatever Camaro, the top of the line one. So now, when we pull into the gas station, we pull right behind his car at the pumps behind his pump. So when we pull in, his foot is hanging out the window, out the door. You know how you sit waiting for your gas, you're doing a full tank, so you're sitting in the car with your leg hanging out. Tendos is totally dark. So when we pull in, he see us. So he was automatically nervous because back then I got on a Pendleton, probably a Dodger hat, LA, you know what I'm saying? Fully Crip down, So Bubba's sitting in the car. So I get out the car. I don't rob people at gas stations. I'm not that type of person. Back then, I got enough respect to not walk in the space of people pumping their gas. I don't get down like that. I always was like that. So when I get out the car, I make him nervous because he see who I am. You know what I'm saying? He like, Jesus Christ, this dude is the real deal. Oh my God, they're about to get me. So I said, excuse me, sir, do you know what such and such street is? That's his street. His street is the house that we looking for. So when I said that street, he probably was panicking. He was like, oh, Jesus, they know who I am. So he probably was panicking. So I said, do you know, excuse me, do you? And his leg was just shaking and he was mumbling. I couldn't hear what he was saying. He was just something. He was, and you could see his leg just moving. So I'm like, yeah, Mr. Grimm, Endo Smoke. And we was trying to get to that video shoot. So whatever year that is, whatever that song, whatever year that came out, I think came out in 99, 2000, 100, but I don't know if they did the video the same year or whatever, but they finally was doing the video for the song. So I'm like, nah, excuse me, sir. Do you know what this such and such street is? So I could tell now that this dude is scared. So my actions was like this. So he looking at me through his back window. He definitely looking at me through his window. So when I do like this, I'm like, huh? And I'm like, I do like that, like, man. And I come from around my door, walk in front of my car, and I walk straight to the booth. And I walk up to the booth, and I'm like, do you know what this street is? Because, now Al Jarreau, he realized I made a mistake. These dudes actually looking for this street, my street. So now he pops up out the car, and he like, hey, man, woo. So I'm talking to the gas station attendant. I don't even turn around. I ain't even acknowledging him. So the dude tell me in the booth where the street is. He like, go there and make a right move. So when I come walking back, Al Jarreau now, he walking like, hey, man, that's my street. Bubba, he's a comedian. He starts screaming loud, Al Jarreau, Al Jarreau, Al Jarreau, Al Jarreau. He said Al Jarreau about 15, 20 times. He in full clowning mode. He had said this man name about 15, 20 times. So I finally walk over to the car. So he like, yeah, man, I'm this, whoop. So I'm like, man, I told him move. I'm like, I don't even care about you now. I'm like, move. I'm like, get away. Because he's standing all in front of my door now. I can't even get in my own car. I'm like, man, move. Get out my way. You didn't want to talk to me now. He's like, nah, man, it wasn't like that, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, man, I get in the car. Bubba is still screaming, Al Jarreau, oh my God. I said, Bubba, shut up. I'm like, Al Jarreau. So now I know the name. I'm familiar with Al Jarreau. So I'm like, Al Jarreau. So now, I'm cocky now. So, because he didn't already, piss me off. So I'm like, Al Jarreau. So he like, yeah, man, he at my window now. You know how you talking to, he's standing, leaning in my window, talking to me directly in my face. So I'm like, Al Jarreau. I'm like, so what you seen? You know what I'm saying? He like, man, you don't know me? I'm Al Jarreau. I'm like, nah, man. I said, my mama probably know you. I don't know. He like, man, you know me. Boo da do that, do that, do that. I was like, hold on. I called my mama on the phone. I said, Mama, you know who Al Jarreau is? She said, yeah, I know who Al Jarreau is. I said, hold on. I said, this is my mama. And he started do that, do that, do. He do something like that. I can hear my mama screaming, her sister over there. They like, it's Al Jarreau, right? So I'm like, I said, I'm gonna call y'all back. So I think we had the brick phones or something like that. Maybe we had the little small phone, the flips by then. I'm not sure. And I said, I'm gonna call you back. So I said, yeah, man, I heard, I think I heard of you, but he said I was making the documentary, South Central's Finest, my documentary, South Central's Finest, Raw from LA. I said, man, let me interview you. He was like, I want you to call my manager. I said, oh, here we go. I'm cool. Don't worry. I said, man, get away from my car. That's what I said. He said, man, he said, where y'all going? I said, man, we're going to a video shoot. He said, man, the video shoot at my house. He said, the video shoot at my house, man. Y'all can follow me around here. He said, y'all can follow me around there. Just follow me. I'm gonna go around there. I was like, man, what's up with the interview? He was like, man, call my manager. I said, that's with all you celebrities. But I said, I ain't trying to do all that. He said, no, man, listen, I don't know my schedule. My manager know my schedule. His name is such and such. Here go his personal number. You call him and say, man, Al said, he told me, AJ or whatever. He said, say AJ, because he gonna know you talk to me. He said, tell him I said to call you and set up a date, man. I want to be on your documentary, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to do the interview for you. I was like, man, you making me call this dude. Why I can't call you? He was like, man, because I don't know. I don't want you to say. He said, I don't want to call and be like, man, okay, come, and then I gotta leave, and I don't want to piss you off anymore. I want to do the interview, so I want you to set it up with my manager. So I was like, all right, give me the number. So he said, man, follow me around. We're going to go to my house. Follow me. So we follow Al Jarreau to his house and went to the party. Bubba did the video or whatever. So this is about a few years later or whatever, when Steve Harvey finally came to the radio station, when he was at 100.3 The Beat or whatever. If you was a Steve Harvey fan, you remember when Steve Harvey was on the radio. This is during because he was only there for a year or two. I think it was maybe about 2 years had passed since that night. Steve Harvey was there when Al Jarreau got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So when he got his star, they called the radio station and he talked to Steve Harvey. So that's when we used to be at the radio station all the time with Steve Harvey. We used to be up there all the time. That's where I got my footage from. That's where I did the interview with him and everything. It's all on my DVD. So I'm sitting there directly behind Steve Harvey, sitting in the window area. So Al Jarreau called up there. So when Al Jarreau called up there, they talking, they chopping it up, this and that. So Steve kind of looked my way or whatever, and I was like, I know that dude. And I do the same thing like this. Like, yeah, nigga ain't nothing. Because I had called the number, left the message with the manager, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to pencil you in. He did the Hollywood thing on me. You know what I'm saying? So I was bad at Al Jarreau again. Like, I don't care about that dude. You know what I'm saying? So Steve Harvey, he kind of looked at me like, what? This low budget, dirty, gang banging foul. He must have thought all kind of, the way he looked at me, like, you know how you look at somebody, you know how the Bloods look at a crab and the crab look at a slob and all that, like, take that blue off, it's killing me. He looked at me like that, like, you like, Like, what? Al Jarreau? Like, you dissing him like that, right? So they talk. So when the radio went to a break, he was still on the phone with Al Jarreau. So he said, and now everybody is a few, the radio station people are always in there. So he said, hey, Al, I got this gang banger in here, and he talking about he know you. And he never said my name or anything. What he said, man, it's this gangbanger in here that say he know you, met you at a gas station or something. Now that had been like a few years, close to 3 years ago at that time. And I know everybody else that was in that room want to know like I want to know. When he said that, Al Jarreau, now this man is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame right now. And he start talking to Steve. So Steve like, he ain't saying nothing. All he's saying is, yeah, okay. And you like, okay, man. So there, man, look, I'm gonna get with you, woo. God bless, this and that, woo. And he hung the phone up. Now, I know everybody that was in that room want to know what Al Jarreau said about me. That light-skinned broad that I wanted to take down. She want to know because she getting closer and closer and closer to me when Steve was like, like, yeah, oh, okay. Like she getting closer and closer and closer to me. Like, wait a minute, you a real thug, huh? You she like, what's up with you, baby? What's happening, right? So by the time Steve hang up the phone, she's standing right next to me. Steve Harvey turn around and he say, yeah, nah, so what's up, man? What's going on? Like, woo. He start talking about something, but he never said nothing about what Al Jarreau said. And I wanted to ask him so bad, like, what did he say? Because everybody clearly seen in that radio station that his attitude had changed because he had made the comments like, man, this old gangbang. Because when I was like, I know him, he was like, what? Everybody seen that, like, huh? Seen him look at me like that. And then he was like, man, this old gangbanger in here talking about he know you, met you at a gas station. Boom. And after that, his attitude was changed. And to this day, I don't know what Al Jarreau said. You got to ask Steve Harvey. But Steve Harvey turned around and his whole attitude with me had changed. He became my friend right then. He was like, man, what's up, man? You know what you got going on? He was like, what you got going on? So character makes a difference, man. Character makes a big difference. Just like you said, one move away, character makes a big difference in a person. And I don't know what's Al Jarreau said to this day. That man is dead and gone. I have no idea. I never got a chance to interview him. I never got a chance to know what Steve Harvey said. I don't know, but I do know that whatever he told Steve Harvey, it had to be something good and positive because Steve Harvey's attitude changed towards me that day because he used to look at us like peasants. A little bit, he used to look at us like peasants just a little bit, but he was cool with us because we was doing gang intervention. But I ain't got to really deal with you dudes like that. So I was like, man, I went on about my day, but Steve Harvey did my interview. I talked to him, I used to hang out with him, and when he went to Swan Hood to Unity 2. After that, he went to Swan Hood. He did a meeting in Swan Hood where it was a few gang interventionists and all that. It was a little meeting over there. And when I walked in, he was like, "What's up, Nut?" And I was like, "Oh, what's up, Steve?" Boom. And he was talking about working with the community. And I told him, me and Professor Don Moo want to do part of your show. I said, man, can we do a part where this is a blood and Crip, we working together, and we, we somewhere in front of the community, and we can say, hey man, today we had, such and such. They work with ex-gang members and reform gang members and all that, and we are blood and Crip working together. He said, man, that's a good idea. I'm going to see if I can get that done. He looked into it too, because he got back with us and he said, man, the producer said he ain't got enough time for that. He said he don't got enough time. But Steve really wanted to implement that into his show. You know how they do the street team stuff? He was going to make us part of his street team. So shout out to Al Jarreau, his family, and everybody, man, for putting Steve Harvey on the map for me. Making him realize that, a real useless Crip out here is good for something. Useless. Ain't did nothing. Hey, look. And they took Steve Harvey, man, and they really pulled that dude, right? because when he came in, we was working with Jim. We had just started working with Jim Brown. So when we all went to the radio station, Jim in the Watts car, Aquila and Daoud and them, they was getting into it. They was at the end of their relationship because they wanted their money for writing the program, not the stuff that they was doing inside the jails. They was getting paid for that, but what they wanted was the money for the curriculum that they had wrote, and that was separated them, I believe, because they was like, we wrote that. So when they walked into the break room, Steve came into the break room, it was Unity One, me, Bo, Professor Damu, Rocky, I think Looney might have been there. It was a few of us there. The Nation of Islam, Tony Muhammad, all of them was in there, and Jim. And he was explaining because Steve had heard that he had a problem with the Watts car. And Jim, you know how he talk. Let me explain to you, Steve. The guys who they think that they so they went on one about that little incident, but they was pulling him. Jim was pulling him this way and the Nation was pulling this way. So everybody remember when Steve Harvey was like, hey, I want to end gang banging. I want the gang members to come to the mosque tonight on Vermont and 87, and it's a community. I want to talk. I want to hear what the people got to say. He did this live on the radio. So that night there was a gang of Crips and Bloods at the mosque, right? So I didn't go there that night, but I heard about what happened. And when you go to somebody's home turf, they can't let it turn into something. They have to try to pull people into their thing because that's what the Nation do. When you come in their house, they're like, hey, brother, sign the app. You'll fill the app out. So they turned it into a thing, you know what I'm saying? And they was trying to work it in, but Steve wanted to hear from the gang members. That's who he came up there for, to hear. He wanted to hear from actual gang members. So there was certain gang members that were there that was talking, that was, heavy tone voiced and, letting people know, who they was and what they was doing. So the next day, we back at the radio station. So he was on the radio station talking about what happened last night at the mosque. And he said it on the radio. He was like, man, I didn't like the way that it turned out. He was like, man, I didn't hear enough from the gang members. And who was that dude? You know what I'm saying? I would just say he was from A-Tray, right? He was like, and who was that dude? Whoop the whoop the whoop, right? And somebody said his name, right? But I already knew who he was talking about, right? So, and he was like, yeah, that name right there, right? So he was like, man, that dude he was trying to bully people. Like, man, he was like, he was trying to intimidate people, to do what he say and all this other stuff, right? So I was like, is that right? And then he looked and he was like, Nut, I didn't see you there last night. I said, yeah, I didn't go. He was like, what? He was like, why you didn't go? I said, because I already knew how I was going to turn out. I don't go over there, man. I ain't got nothing to do with that building. I'm not when you go into their house, their job is to convert you, to get you to join, because who better to join than a blood and a Crip? They soldiers. So that ain't my thing. He said, you know what? You are absolutely correct. He like, man, I love the nation. They do it good, but they he like, I wanted to hear from the gang members, man. That's who I wanted to hear from. We was hearing from a lot of communities, city people. He said, man, I wanted to hear more gang members, more Bloods and Crips. I said, yeah, that's gonna be hard, man, because everybody don't got it like that when they get to an environment like that. The house is going to run it the way they feel it need to be ran. He said, man, you absolutely right. I said, yeah. He said, man, that dude, woo woo. As soon as he said that name, old boy from A-Tray came walking through the door, right? And I said, hey, Steve, that's the dude who you talking about right there. He said, where? He was like, what? How he get up here? The very next day, he had private security up there. And you could not, if you wasn't on that list to get into the beat then, you wasn't getting in there now. Because he changed all that. He like, how this dude get in here? He just walked in here like that after talking crazy like that last night. I was like, Steve, he was like, man, this that ain't cool. And the next day, he had real security up in there running the whole floor. And if you couldn't say who you was there to see, you was not getting in the beat. All that free access was over with. As soon as we came up there, our name was on the list because we here to see Kathy Hughes, or we here to see her son, because I was dealing with Kathy Hughes or son. You know what I'm saying? We was on the list like that, man. You feel me? If you don't know who Kathy Hughes is, just go look her up. I don't even have time to tell you who she is. Just go look her up. And she love us. You know what I'm saying? And and when we came in through the thing, he was like, they let y'all in? And Bo was like, yeah, man, we here to see Kathy Hughes. And he was like, oh, okay. Because he didn't want, he was like, I like y'all. Y'all got plugs. And he said, I like y'all. I like that. Okay. He was like, that's the way to get in. We here to see the owner, homie. We ain't here to see you. We here to see the owner. So, yeah, that was a good story right there, one move away, when I met Al Jarreau, man. And like you said, the importance of character is a must when you run into these celebrities. And, you got to make these celebrities pay, man, for the ones that contributed in gang violence, Crips and Bloods. They need to get on all their heads and let them know what the business is. But, yeah, I thank everybody for coming through. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, welcome to the show. Please like, subscribe, and all that. These hours go by fast, man. Once you yapping your gums, I think I do need to come on a little bit earlier, man. But the game was on, but it wasn't. I couldn't. It's hard to watch. The poor Lakers. I don't even know what to say about my team. And don't say nothing about the Lakers. I don't want to hear it. Do not. If I'm gonna block you if you say something about the Lakers. Don't you dare say nothing about the Lakers. I don't want to hear it. Don't say nothing. Leave them people alone. I don't care about LeBron, AD, Marvin Ham, Black Samurai, none of them dudes. Everybody that let me down. I'm disappointed. I'm horribly disappointed. I should have at least been in the second round or something. But yeah, this was about the girls in the gang that I believe it was West Side Life or somebody who has said that. Yeah, West Side Life has said they wanted to know about the girls in the gang. I had some other stuff that I was going to read about the Crips in school, because this week it's about the Crips destroying the public school system, and how they've been negative since the birth of the Crips. It's nothing positive about the Crips. It's time that people know that we need something better from the Crips, and that is, don't put nobody else on. That's where they could start from. I was supposed to read this article, Violence Stalking Schools Hallways. But listen, let me give you this first. I want to give you this first paragraph. We're going to pick this up. We could pick it up again tomorrow, but I do want you to hear this. In Los Angeles, a deadly little gang of toughs calls itself the Crips, short for cripple, which is what it does to its victims in Coastalville, Pennsylvania. Students suspect of being drunk are asked to blow up a balloon in Chicago last year. 89,000 school windows were smashed, and Richard Wiley, chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, says the average 13-year-old has seen 13,000 murders on television. Violence and vandalism in American schools cost $500 million a year, equal to all the money spent on school books in 1972. So sit there and think about that, because I got plenty of articles that tell you that the Crips is short for cripple, because that's what we do to our victims. We cripple them, cuz. And I could care less if you were sitting at the table and you say, nah, that ain't what it mean, homie. That ain't what it mean. I'm the one who made it up. I got $1,000 for the person who can tell me who is the person who said we are going to be called the Crips. Because it ain't Raymond Washington. It ain't Raymond Washington. Go spread that around. Dr. Crip said he got $1,000 if you could tell him who came up with the name Crips. Who is the first person to write Crip on the wall? This is a two-part $1,000 question. You got to answer both questions. Who is the first person to say Crip? And who is the first person to write Crip on the wall? Got $1,000 if you can answer that. And you got to have proof. And you got to have proof. If you can tell me that, you got you $1,000. This book is worth $1,000. No, I'm just playing. But I will give you an autographed signed edition of a hardback copy, though. That's for sure. I can think about the 1,000 if you could prove it. If you could really prove it. If you could really prove it, tell me. I got all the articles right here. I'm going by what I see right here in front of me. I got articles. So I need to know the very first person who said Crip. Who was the very first person to write Crip on the wall? And where was it written at? It's a 3-part $1,000 question. Who was the first person to say, we are calling ourselves Crip? Who is the person that stood up and said, we calling ourselves Crip? Who said that? If you can answer that, who was the first person to write Crip on the wall? And where did they write it at? I give you $1,000. Oh, don't nobody know? Don't nobody know? It's like that. Don't nobody know now, huh? But the Crips are so important. I mean, here go information now. The useless information can get you $1,000. And you mean to tell me you don't know who that is? You're supposed to be on point with that. This your life. You mean to tell me you can't tell me who that is? You can't tell me the person who first said we're going to call ourselves Crips? You can't tell me the person who wrote it on the wall? And you can't tell me where it was written at for $1,000? Come on, man. Are you serious? I mean, ain't this a legal contract, me saying it on the internet? You could sweat me for that, right? Let me know who is the first person to say Crip. We are calling ourselves Crips. Who is the first person to write it on the wall? Who was the first, and where did they write it at? I mean, Jesus, y'all don't know that? All you 60, 70-year-old people don't know that? Was it Benny Simpson and and Ray, whatever them dudes' names is that was tripping? The long table people should know. Long table project, y'all don't know that? Who gets that honor right there? Come on, man. Somebody got to tell me. I know somebody wants this 1,000. All I ask is that you prove it. That's all. I just got to take your word for it. So if that OG dude say, I'm the first person that did it, homie, run me my 1,000. I'm supposed to just take your word for it? Come on, man. Are you serious? That's it. I just got to take your word for it. That you know I'm the first person to say Crip. Ain't nothing can be done about that. Come on, man. Check this out. If you could tell me the first person to write blood on the wall, I cash app you $100 right now. Oh, it's like that? The Crips get 1,000, but the Bloods get 100? No, it ain't like that. That is just called a, what do you call that? Where I'm messing with you or something like that. But if it was a legal contract, then run it. You feel me? But if you could tell me the first person to write blood on the wall, you feel me? I'll give you $100. You got to prove it, though. You know what I'm saying? Can you prove it? Can you prove it? That's all I ask, you know? Can you prove it? I mean, it's $100. Everybody need $100. Everybody need $100. Everybody need $100. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Can anybody tell me that? Who is the first person to, okay, listen. I got $100. I got $200. That's nothing. Tell me who's the first person to say we are going to be called Crips. Tell me the first person to write it on the wall. Tell me where it was written at. Tell me the first person to say blood. That ain't hard. Some people going to try to prove that. But you still got to be able to prove it. Because everybody can say that. Tell me the first person to write blood on the wall. Get you $100 right now. Man, you need $100? You mean to tell me you can't get $100? you don't want $100? Come on now. Hey, one move away. Nobody can't prove it like you. Hey, somebody can, y'all know the evidence. All you people from the 60s and the 70s, 72, as hard as y'all is, you know all the stuff y'all was doing? Come on, man. Come on now. Everybody can prove it, man. Listen, please like, subscribe, share, let people know what we're doing. All this week, we talking about the Crips in school. We talked about the girls in gangs. Westside Life wanted to know about the girls in the gangs. You heard about what they was talking about, the girls in the gangs, how they was confined to areas, idolizing the males, the whole nine. So we already know. No Mo in 24. Let's get all these gang interventionists to get on the same page that we on right now. It's trying to push this line. All you old dudes need to hit the streets. All y'all 50s, 60s, and 70s year olds need to hit the streets and push y'all line on everybody 35 and under. It is time right now. Y'all gonna do what we say or we gonna roll over y'all. It's on. The One Smoke 9-0. What it do? I know you know the business. Tell me who's the first Crip, man. You know all the information. Who the first Crip to say Crip and write it on the wall? That's something that everybody's supposed to, that's useless information. That useless information ain't out there. I can't believe that. That's never been said. Who is the first Crip to say we gonna be Crips? The first Crip to write Crip on the wall? Where Crip was written at first? That's supposed to be something everybody know, man. That's useless information. You can get $100 for it. Man, I cash app you $100 right now, man. Just let me know, man, who it is. That's all I need to know. Who is the first person to say Crip? We're going to be called Crips. Who's the first person to write it on the wall and where did they write it? Who is the first person to write blood on the wall and where did they write it? That's $200, man. That's $200, man. Somebody need to go figure that out, man. Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I'm serious right now. He said, Raymond Washington. Nope. That ain't it. Hey, and you would think that, huh? That ain't it. That's not it. You would think that, but that's not it. That's a good one, though, Smoke. I would think everybody would say Raymond Washington. That ain't it. Who the first person to write it on the wall? It's a 3-part question. You got to answer all the pieces to get the $100. So we'll be here. That question will go all the way until Friday. We're going to let that question run. We're going to let that trivia question. Okay, this is official. This is official trivia question on the Dr. Crip Show to win prizes. Get you an autographed copy. Where you from, homie? Learn about GAMD. If you can tell me and win $100, if you could tell me who is the first person to say we are calling ourselves Crips, who is the first person to write it on the wall, and where did they write it? Who is the first person to write blood on the wall, and who is the person of where did they write it? That's a $200 trivia answer with an autographed copy from your boy, Dr. Crip. Come on, man. That's easy. Father's Day coming. Y'all need some money, man. You better get home. You better get on it, man. Father's Day is coming, man. You need that 200 right now, man. Come on, man. This is the Dr. Crip Show, man. Shout out to all my sponsors, man, that support us. They gonna pay y'all. All you see these people right here, they got the money for y'all right now. Here go the people that got the $200 right here. They got it. You see these people right here? They got all the money for you right now. They ready to go. They ready for it right now, man. You feel me? Here go the sponsors. They got the $200, man. All you got to do is tell me who it is and where it was and all that, and it's a done deal. Remember, all answers have to be proven facts. We are not accepting answers from 69, 172 people because you was there. You have to prove it. If you can prove it, then it's yours. Come get it. Hey, this is the Dr. Crip Show. Once again, man, we've been on here for 2 hours. I didn't mean to take up your time like that. I'm sorry. We was talking about the girls and the gangs. Tomorrow, we're going to finish up Crips in public schools, how they ruin these schools, ruin education for everybody. That's why some of these 50s, 60s, and 70-year-old people can't read, can't write, still gang banging, still endorsing Crips and Bloods, showing up at funerals and functions, and and not taking accountability for the actions that they given. All we need to start hearing is from, if you 60 and 70 years old, is saying, I'm sorry. 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 You feel me? That's all we need to hear. Dub One Smoke 90. That's what's up, Dr. Crip. Glad to see all the sponsors supporting your channel, OG. Yeah, man, those are people that, that I've been knowing for a long time, man. And that's out here trying to do things, man. And, they're going to support me, man, with, whatever, how they can support me. So, yeah, those is the sponsors right there. They do wonderful work. That's all what they do. Wear Protect. They do websites, Sharkazoid energy drink. I don't drink energy drinks. So, but, they say it's pretty good. So I don't know. But we've been here again 2 hours. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, share, let people know. We're going to try to be on again tomorrow. I know I'm going to try to be here at 6 o'clock, 6:30, man. I don't want to keep people up late like this, man. I apologize. So thank you again, DeJuan Smoke. Now I know you already know it's all good, man. One move away, RW. I'm surprised, RW, you ain't answered the question. And where's King Son at? He know the answer. King Son know all the answers. Westside Life, real talk, man. Y'all wake up, man. Go get that 100, man. Give us the useless information, man, on the Crips and Bloods. We need to know this, man. We need to know this right now, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, we give us this answer, man. Inquiring minds want to know, man. You know, we want to know the answer to this. So this is Dr. Crip, man. Thank everybody for coming through once again, man. And we will be back tomorrow, man. This is Dr. Crip. We out.